Don't forget to click that subscribe and bell icon to receive a notification each time I upload a new video. Hi everyone, it's Mike here. So today is the 4th of April, the first Saturday in a brand new month, which means it's time for a brand new art challenge over on our Mission Inspiration Facebook group. I will put a link to the description on the screen right now, but there's also a clickable link in the description area below. All you have to do is just click it and pop along to our Facebook group and ask to join. There are a couple of questions that need to be answered just to make sure you're a real person, and then you're in and you can start to enjoy all the inspiration and the prompts that we're providing for everybody while we're in lockdown. Because at the moment we're putting a brand new quarantine quickie prompt or a little bit of inspiration on the Facebook group every day for the foreseeable future. There will also be the mid-month mini mission, which is the random letter challenge, which will be going out on April the 18th this month. So lots to do if you're stuck at home, quarantined and staring at those four walls, and you want to get the brain going and get arting or crafting. So without further ado, I will show you April's challenge, which this month has been set by the lovely Linda Simpson. And she's done a nice kind of bright one for us for April. So as you can see, the challenge is Music Feeds the Soul. We have the colour combo of royal purple, postbox red and grass green. And your words for inspiration are music, dance, song, melody and soul. There you go. So there's plenty to go at for April's main challenge. So without further ado, I will turn over to my overhead camera and show you what I'm going to create using those prompts. Okay, so I've printed off the prompt ready for me to just use as a handy reference. I still haven't worked out how I'm going to integrate these into the journal. So for 2020 I decided I was going to do all my mission inspiration challenges in this circle journal that I created. There is a link, there is a video showing how I created this in one of the playlists. I think it's the Mission Inspiration or the Circle Journal playlist if you want to have a look at that. If I remember, I'll try and put one of those linky kind of things up here in the top right hand corner of the screen to the video. That's if I remember. Right, so I've turned to the next available page in my circle journal. I'm just going to clip the pages open so that they don't pop up while I'm trying to work on them. There we go. And because we're using music, the first thing that I'm going to do for my art journal page is I'm going to put down some paper, music paper. So these are some old music sheets that were sent to me a while ago in Happy Mail, and all I've done is I've just I've cut the edge off there, and then I've just slid it into or underneath, and I've just traced around it with a pencil. It's as easy as that, and then I'm going to stick that into the page so it's going to cover. But what I want to do is just cut within the line a little bit to make sure that it's just slightly smaller than what I actually need. So I'm going to just go around very, very quickly. And I'm not being perfect, I'm not trying to do it exact. I'm not really bothered about getting a perfect semicircle or half circle. So I'll just whip round quickly, and then I'm going to trim just a small amount off the inside, just so that I know it's going to sit nicely within the page that we've got. And again, I'm not doing it perfect. So that theoretically now is small enough, or should just fit within that page. I might just take a little bit more off that bottom bit there and just take a little bit more off the top, just so it fits within the page a little bit better. There we go. That's good for that one, and I'll do the same thing for this side, but because I don't want you to sit there getting bored watching me do the same thing, I will just do this and then jump to where I'm ready to stick. Okay, so I've got both my semicircles all cut out, ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue them down. I'm not going to use I'm not going to use wet glue, I was going to say. I'm going to use a collage glue stick for this. So I'm just going to run some glue down the middle, around the edges, and then just fill in where necessary. And this is one of the Dilutions diary glue sticks from Diane. I'll just bring that in there, and then we can just line that up. We've got a little bit of wiggle room. That will do for that one, and then we'll do the other side. So like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't get extra points for accuracy and tidy and neatness, and if you don't do a perfect half circle, nobody's going to come knocking on your door. The tidy police have got other things on their mind at the moment. Okay, so again we'll stick that into the middle, just like that. So that's going to need just a minute or two to dry, and that's the first layer, my base if you like, for the art journal page. So I'm going to leave that for a minute or two, and then I will be right back. Okay, so my music paper has stuck down quite nicely now, so I want to start bringing in some of those colours that we have on the prompt. So I'm going to start off with the grass green. So for that I've actually got mowed lawn. So this is mowed lawn distressing. So all I'm going to do is grab a piece of paper just to protect it underneath, and I'm just going to start adding some green around the page. I'm going to go across both sides. Just work it into the page, bring it down, and then some over here. I mean, if you wanted to go, you know, more of a lighter green, then, you know, cracked pistachio or twisted citron would work quite well. Just swap that one over, get some down here, and I'm only trying to get some, it's kind of like background colour, which you'll see in a little while. So I've got green there, just get that a little bit more vibrant, more green than anything else really, just in that background. And then we've got postbox red. Well, Tim doesn't do a postbox red, but he does do a candied apple. So postbox red being more of a British kind of colour, because it's the Brits that have the red post boxes. Yep, that'll do. So we'll bring in some of that red over here and just try not to mix it too much with the green, because obviously red and green is just going to make brown. So we'll try to minimise the blending of the colours. Let's get that back over to that side and the edge. The good thing about this is you can still see the music underneath, which is cool. A little bit down there, and then a little bit more over here. I mean, it's old music paper, so it's gonna suck in and soak in that colour really, really easy. I mean, if you wanted to do it a different way, you could have actually done it on your worktop, added water to it, and then dipped the music paper in before you actually laid it down. So that would have been another way of doing it, or just doing it like this. Okay, so now we've got that. I want to add some little water droplets on there just to activate it and just get a little bit of depth in the background. So I've got my Tim Holtzy spritzer. So just add some blobs. And let it sit for a second or two while that activates. And then we'll grab some tissue and then just lift it off. That way you get that nice kind of marbling effect. Adds just a little bit more texture to your backgrounds. Okay, so I'll just roll that over the top just to make sure I've not missed any, which I probably have. Okay, so you can see where you've got that kind of watermarking in the inks now, so it just kind of gives it that little bit of extra dimension. I need to get that dried off because I can't do the next layer if it's still damp, so we'll just give it a quick blast and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've dived into my stash and I found this old sheet of stickers where I've actually used the circle stickers as kind of like envelope seals in the past, and I've not thrown the sheet away because I thought it would come in handy one day with it having the holes in. But I like the pattern that was printed from a scanned piece of mixed media work that I did years ago. We're talking like back in 2016 or something. I scanned it and I kept it, and I use it occasionally to print when I want a kind of mixed media kind of background. And there is music actually already in the sheet, which is even perfect. So what I've done is I've just folded it in half, and then I've roughly cut the same kind of shape as the circle. It doesn't fit perfect, but it's near enough. And there are some purples in there, there's some yellows, there's some reds as well. There's a little bit of green up here, but not a lot, but that's fine. But there's not a lot of purple. So I want to add some purple. So instead of the royal purple, because obviously Tim doesn't have a royal purple either, I've got seedless preserves, which is near enough. So I just want to add a little bit of that seedless preserves, just kind of into this piece where the lighter colours are maybe. So there's like a little bit of purple there, but not quite enough. So I'm just going to add some spots in there. And of course, where these are, they're holes. So you're not really going to get, there's not anything going to be seen. I'll start that again. There's holes there, so you're going to get what's underneath showing through, so it doesn't matter if you go into those with this, because it's also like kind of like waxy paper anyway. So let's just try and build on that a little bit. I don't want to do too much because purple's a bit too much of a strong colour for me. It's not my favourite, but I just want a kind of little hint of it in there. that'll do. And again, I can spritz just to kind of break it up a little bit. Just let it sit, and then just quickly whip it off. So that's had the exact opposite effect of the other ones. It's actually gone darker, which is quite interesting. That's obviously the paper, the sticker paper, reacting with the water differently, which is cool. Okay, so let's bring that in. So that's it nice and dry. So I can now stick this over the top. So I'm going to very carefully peel the back off. Real careful, and then I'm going to lay it over the top. So starting in the middle. So I think about there, and then just gently push it down from the middle. I'm a little bit off, but hey ho, can't have everything. And then just gently feed it down. Still within the confines of the circles, which is good. And then just give it a rub. It's interesting, different kind of texture when you layer stuff over the top, because you can still see that music coming through. Just rub that down. Very different. Okay, so I want to add something to break that up, so I do need some more white on there, I think. So I'm going to use some acrylic paint rather than gesso. Let's see what we got. Dina Wakley, I think. Some Dina Wakley white. Hopefully, I've got plenty of this left up. Let's see. Let's put the polyprop mat underneath there. So I don't want to put some white paint onto that craft mat. There we go. And I'm thinking bubble wrap. I'm thinking bubble wrap. Real bubble wrap as opposed to a stencil. So have I got any? Yes, I do. I just need to cut some from this roll. This is what I use to send out sometimes parcels in. When I do journals, I wrap them in bubble wrap to make sure that they're all preserved. And I need a brush. Brush. Right, we've got an old Ranger on here with the paint's flaking off because I left it in water. It's not Ranger's fault, it's my fault. Okay, so that's the bubble side. Let's paint the bubbles. And then I can pick it back up again, and then we'll lay it onto the page. Just give it a press down and then pull up, and we get that nice kind of texture. Just paint the bubble wrap again. I'll do that one down towards the middle. The bottom, and then pull off. Paint it once more. And I'll have it on this side. Ha! Love it. If you want to just increase where you've got it over there, or I do anyway, just to make it a bit bigger, just lay it next to it. And I can feel some of the bubbles bursting under there. Now, normally, with it being acrylic paint, it won't bond with the distress ink. It will sit on the surface, so it won't change colour. If I'd used gesso, gesso would have reacted with the ink, and then it would have started to take on the colour of the ink that was underneath. Doesn't really happen with acrylic. It does sometimes, depending on how wet your acrylic paint is, but because I've put this on pretty much dry, as in no water at all, neat from the bottle, it's going to probably stay as it is. But I still want to add another layer on top of that with that white, because I want some splatters in there. And I'm just going to add a little bit more on top, like that. And then I've got my splatter brush somewhere. Say splatter brush, fan brush, but it might as well be a splatter brush because that's all it ever gets used for, apart from painting trees. A bit more water. Now this is where it will take on the colour. So we're going to go, because there's more water in this, it will take on the colour. Okay. Mess, 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 mess. Let's lift that off. And then we'll give it a blast and get it dry. Okay, so the splatters and the bubble wrap is dry, but I've just auditioned my 2 focal points for the page, and I'm getting the feeling, the gut feeling, that I need to edge the pages in white. It's just one of those things, when you look at it, you think to yourself, it needs something, and my brain is telling me that I need to create a kind of whitish border all the way around. So I'm going to do that by adding in some white paint just with my finger, just to kind of soften those edges. Just kind of breaks it up a little bit. Just softens it and diffuses. I appreciate it probably may affect the actual ink, but I don't mind that. As long as I can kind of soften those edges, I'll be happy. So I'll just flip that back around. That's my printer deciding to do what it wants. Does your printer do that as well? Just on its own, just decides to clean its heads or whatever. It's very spooky sometimes. That's it, just diffuse it. You could, if you wanted to, grab a stencil and just stencil the edges. But I kind of like the, I won't say inaccuracy, because it is really, it's, but the non kind of planned effect you get just by using your finger. At least I remember to use this one this time and not the middle one. I got told off for doing that a while ago. Okay, so I think that is kind of diffusing that edge a little bit. Just add a little bit more white. Just kind of bring that in. And the beauty with white is you can always add a bit more if you're not kind of 100%. yeah, I think I'm happier with that kind of diffused edge now. I've got a wet wipe somewhere, there we go. That's more like it. Yeah, it kind of brings the inside where those bubble wrap bits and the splatters, it kind of brings it all together. Because when I add my 2 focal points that I've already cut out and prepared. Hello, Mr. Bentley. Hello, darling. You come to see me? Eh? Have you? You come to see me? Oh, just have a quick cuddle. Excuse me a moment. Hello, baby. Hello, baby boy. Yes. Ain't got anything for you? No? Go on then, go see Daddy. Is he downstairs? Go see Daddy downstairs. He's just looking at me. Aren't you? Just looking at me. Let's see if we can try and catch you on camera. Oh, you decided you're going to sit down there now? Have you decided you're going to sit down there now while I'm working? Have you? Okay, so we need to get that dried off. Nope, Mr. Bentley's gone now. Doesn't like the sound of the hairdryer. Okay, so I think it's time to stick down my focal points. So I'll just grab some scratch paper, put that there. So for my 2 focal points, I have cut out a couple of rather lovely ballet dancers in full flow, which I think work rather nicely for the page. So I'm going to stick that one down first. Now I've already gone around the edges with a distress marker just to kind of get rid of those raw edges and get it to blend in a little bit. So just follow the shape of the character. Alright, so glue on the back of that one. So we need to make sure we position his foot so it's just on the edge, and then just allow it to lay just like that. And then we'll get the second one. These are actually really good shapes. I should have done is try to I should have maybe tried to scan them for MDF shapes to sell, laser cuts. That would have been a good idea, wouldn't it? But too late now. Maybe. Never say never. Okay. So the next one, again, make sure his foot is somewhere in there, laying down. I want to make sure that his hand stays within the page. So we just need to tilt him correctly. And I like the way that the foot falls into the holes. Kind of frames them, doesn't it? Just smooth him down, which is perfect. Now then, let me just see whether or not we might even just be able to coax enough life maybe, we'll see. Anyway, let's just get the quote stuck down first. So I've gone onto the internet and I did a search for quotes about music and the soul, because those are two of the words in here the words for inspiration. So music, I've got dance anyway, and then soul, and then you've got music feeds the soul. Anyway, and this quote popped up. Music is the strongest form of magic. And I like that. I can't remember who it was by. Never mind. So we're going to have that as the main quote for the page. And I'm going to put that in there. I printed that alongside the images at the same time. So, and then just cut it out and then just went around the edge with the same pen I did with the characters. There we go. So let's get rid of that. So kind of liking this, but I'm still thinking it needs to have something else. And I'm wanting to use a bit more white, but I don't know whether I've got one of these Signo white pens that has got enough left in it. I suppose I could do it's not really giving me what I want. It's not white enough. And I did have a Posca pen wherever it went to. I had a white Posca paint pen and that seems to have disappeared. I can't find it for the life of me. So I found the black one and I've got a turquoise one, but I've no idea where that one looks empty, completely gone that one. I really ought to go through my collection of these pens, testing them all to see whether or not they work. I don't think that one's dead as well though. One more. Bit of life in that one, but not a lot. I'm only going around the circle shapes. I'm not going around the character. Yeah, it's just helping to make it pop a little. So this is probably one of those types of art journal page that you could probably keep on adding and doing stuff to for quite some time, but you've got to know when to stop. But my heart is telling me not just yet, and I'm just following, so the line of the cutout and using the edge of the labels as a guide, just gently that's just helping to kind of unify it all together, isn't it? Okay. And I think the final one, just there. I think that's everyone, isn't it? I'll just go back over that one. Sometimes the pens just stop working. There we go. Like it. Wasn't kind of sure where the page was going to go. I kind of had an idea in my head, but wasn't 100% sure exactly what was going to happen. But then I guess the same for almost every art journal page that you do. You never really know how the paint and the colours are going to react with your characters. Now, if I wanted just to add a little bit more into it, I could go over his tights. I've got a purple coloured pencil, and I could just add a little bit more colour and just burnish it a little bit with the stump, just to kind of add a bit more to it. But I'm not going to go mad, you know what I mean. I'm not going to colour it in totally, just want to add just a little bit, a hint of colour in there. And then just burnish it. So we've just got that little tint coming forward. And I think that's all I'm going to do for this one. And I'm just going to sign it. And today is the 4th of the 4th, already into April. So let's just have a look at that prompt sheet. So we've got music. We've got dance, because that's exactly what they're doing, but it's not exactly a word, but I've used it as part of the page. So we've also used the colours, postbox red and the grass green, or as near as we possibly can, and music feeds the soul. It kind of fits that theme too. So I think that is mission accomplished. So I hope you've watched, I hope you've enjoyed watching me create that art journal page. If you have, please remember to give the video a thumbs up. If you're so inclined, share the video with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. But don't forget, if you want to join in with us on the Mission Inspiration Facebook group, then it's that link there, but there's also a clickable one in the description area below the video. That's all from me for now. I just want to say a huge thank you for Linda for setting the prompt for April. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. Hi everyone, it's Mike here. So today is the 4th of April. It's the first Saturday of a brand new month. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. Thank you.